Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm so excited to be here. We're going to talk about the 5 keys to being the leader you want to be. I know all of you want to be a great leader, and I'm excited to be talking to you tonight about this. It's probably one of the biggest questions I always get is how do I become a great leader? Hey, Danielle. Hi, Kylie. Ooh, Kylie, I like the way you spell your name. Yay. Hey, Tasha. Welcome. Kylie, I'm so excited too. Yay. Hey, Kimberly Moore. Good to see you. Welcome. Hi. Hi, Katie. Great to have you on. Well, hey, beautiful to you too. Hey, Brittany. Welcome tonight. So excited to have all you. Thank you for the hearts. I love it. I love it. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're interested in being a better leader. Give me a thumbs up if that's something that really excites you. And if you know somebody like on your team or somebody you're friends with that doesn't even have to be in the same business as you, but they just want to be a better leader, maybe better at being a PTA mom, better at being a mother, because let's face it, as a mother, we're a leader. So, yeah, see, that's all of us. That is all of us. Okay, you ready for the first key? Are you ready? All right, we've heard this before, but this is so important. Leaders are readers. You know, they studied all the millionaires and billionaires out there in the world today, and they're reading on average or listening. Now, some of us aren't readers. I happen to be a reader. I'm probably have 1 or 2 books going every single week. I read very fast. I started reading. I don't know if you all remember this. Do you remember Nancy Drew books? I started reading Nancy Drew books, and that just after that you couldn't get a book in my hands fast enough. And then from there I went into business books and then books on psychology. And from every book, I don't care if it's just a novel that you want to read, you're going to get something out of it, like a movie. You get something out of it. It moves you in a certain direction. So whether it's listening to someone such as Jim Rohn, I love Jim Rohn. If you don't know about him, he is deceased, but he was in the direct sales industry for over 30 years, and he just gets it. And so anytime you can go on YouTube, you can listen to him for free. And there's all kinds of different books. Mel Robbins, I spoke about this book before. She wrote, about the 5 seconds. And what does that mean to me? It's sometimes in the morning I get up and I just want to have my coffee and that's it. And I know I need to go work out. So I'll do her 5 seconds, which is I count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and I get up and I go work out. I just don't question it after that. So sometimes we need to do that to read a book, don't we? We could sit down and watch television and veg out for an hour, but if you'll go get quiet somewhere and get an inspirational book, The Magic of Thinking Big was one of the first books that I ever read, and that really moved me in the right direction. It could be anything for you. There's so much material out there today, and then there's a lot for free as well. You can download a lot of ebooks. I just think it's the most invaluable thing that I've ever done, and they say one of the best things that you can leave your family is your library, and I know I'm building mine. I love to keep books like this one I'm reading now. I've just got writing all in it. I've underlined, I've gone back, it looks like it's been beat up, but it's just a great book, and you're going to find a lot of books like that are really going to help you. So leaders are readers. So that means building your mind so that when you're leading, whether it's your family, your PTA group, your mom's group, your friends in an adventure, or you're building a business, leadership surrounds us all. And it's nice to be able to feel like a leader, even though at times we might just be starting in that adventure, whatever that adventure is, and we don't feel like we're capable of being a leader. And we can walk away sometimes and say, wow, I wish I would have said that, or I wish I would have said this. And it's just a lack of confidence. So reading and listening can help us, and reading and listening to each other can help us as well. So I just find it, again, invaluable. It's probably the biggest tip that I could, or the biggest key that I could give you tonight, is to start picking up a book or start listening to the right people. I just came off a Tony Robbins workshop, unbelievable. Just, again, takes you to another level of believing in yourself, which is really what it comes down to. Whether you're building a business with one or two people, they are looking up to you for that leadership. And so what you can always do is, if you feel like you're stumped, you can go upline or to somebody in your community. Sometimes I go to Dave. Big Daddy is just a tremendous leader. And I go to him because women, a lot of times, we're so emotional and we get wrapped up in it and we don't know how to get ourselves out of it. So a man's perspective sometimes is invaluable. So I go to him a lot and say, all right, how would you question this? What would you do? And it's usually just point on. So find that leader that you admire, that someone could mentor you. And then if you want and you've got the ability, look into coaching. It is just such a great way to get somebody else's, again, perspective, somebody that's been a leader in their community that you admire and feel like they could lead you in the right direction. So, number one, leaders are readers. All right. I think the biggest thing that I feel confident in for key number two is listening. You know, a lot of times I will be talking one-on-one, and I prefer that. I prefer Zoom so I could see your face, or FaceTime. And if that's not possible, then I'll sit down over the phone. But I get out a pen, a piece of paper, and I start writing. And what I do, and I give you about 5 minutes. I feel like that's enough for you to just go off on a rant and start telling me everything wrong that you feel is wrong, or that you feel like you need help with. Because let's face it, when we're coaching somebody, it's usually because they're going in the opposite direction of where they want to go. So I'll write down everything you say, the big words, you know, such as, I feel like I'm a failure, this isn't going in the right direction, whatever that is, or somebody on my team. I write it all down as fast as I can, and I pretty much time it. Like, I'll even up front, I'll say, look, I'll give you about 5 minutes, just rant on what's going on. And then I go back and I say, okay, let me ask you this. This is a great question. Write this down because it has been so helpful for me. I'll ask them, are you ready to do something about it? So I'll repeat that. Are you ready to do something about it? You know how you've got that friend that comes to you and all they want to talk about is what's going wrong. Maybe they're having trouble in their marriage, or with their boyfriend, or with their children, or their boss, or their business. It could be anything. And they just want to go on and on and on about it. Every time you are around them, they just go down that path and nothing's ever changing. And it's because they keep regurgitating that same information over and over again. So they just keep walking in it and walking in it and walking in it. Nothing's going to change until we stop and kind of get like, what? When you ask them, are you ready to do something about it? It triggers something up here to where one of two things happens, and this happens almost every single time. One, they stop and they'll look at you and go, yeah, I am. I'm just kind of done with this. Or they continue on in the rant. Yeah, but Pam, you just don't understand. Blah, blah, blah. And it just keeps happening, That's not somebody that's ready to do something about it. They just want to stay in the same place. They still want to talk about it. They still want to throw up on you about it. They're not ready. And so everything that you say from that moment on is just going in and out. It's not going to make an impact on them because they're not ready to really be open for a solution. And every question and every problem has a solution. immediately, when you ask that question, there comes that answer. You might not be able to hear it right away. When you have a problem, there is the solution. If we'll just get quiet enough to breathe and allow that question, that answer to come, or that solution. So when I say, are you ready to do something about it? And they take a deep breath and they go, yeah, I'm just so done with this. Then you've got somebody that you can work with, that you can coach, and that's open to a solution. And I love that when that light bulb goes off, that breath is sucked in, and they just stop for a moment. And then you could say, okay, let me go back and let me point out a couple of words that you said here. And it could be lack of confidence, spinning in the same direction. Nothing seems to be working for me. And so you want to go back and you want to point out, as you listen to them for that first 5 minutes, those self-limiting beliefs. And sometimes they want to just keep arguing for those self-limiting. They want to argue you to death. And again, that is not somebody that's really ready to find that solution. And that's okay too. So what do we need to do as a leader is we need to know at that point, it's probably best just to walk away, say, look, when you're really ready to do something about this, then let's come back together. And maybe a second time saying that, they'll kind of like she's really serious. She's not going to talk to me about this and go down that path with me, because that's not helping them. It's like your child. My son Adam, if he got a bad grade, you have kids, we all have kids, and he got a bad grade, he would show it to me and go, I got this because of the teacher, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Adam, and I don't know, a lot of you don't know Adam, but he's 6'5", and he's been that way since he was probably 2. I would pull him by the ear and drag him into the bathroom, and I would say, Adam, who is responsible for this grade? And he would look in the mirror and answer that question. And he would say, I am. And then he would know, look, she's not going to take these excuses at all. She really wants to know, she wants me to know that it is my problem. And so look, maybe you need to go take a look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm ready to change this. I'm really wanting to help this. So let's look at this. Okay. Oh, I love it. Kay's on. Hey, Jeree. I just want to stop for a minute. I love Tony Robbins too, Tasha. Oh, thank you, Kay. Grateful for your wisdom too. All right. Now, number 1 was leaders are readers. Number 2 is listen. Don't assume. Also, when you're listening, don't jump right into the answer. Let them talk for that 5 minutes, and then you can go right into that answer and help them with whatever they're going through, because a lot of times we'll assume something because that's the way we feel, and that doesn't necessarily mean the way that they feel. All right, let's see, key number 3. When you're coaching people, and hey, Dana, I see you, or Danny, shout outs from Vegas, I love you too. Hi, Ingus. All right. I see this a lot on Facebook. Let's just be really kind when we're dealing with people. I like when I see something I need to call out, maybe somebody is being overly negative on Facebook. They're they're a little harsh with their team. It's usually somebody that's a little overbearing. They think it's a good part of coaching, but it's not. It's really not. What we need to recognize is people do need coaching, and people do respect coaching, and we as leaders and coaches want to be able to guide people in the right direction. And let's think that for the vast majority, a lot of us really feel like we're doing great things. And I like to come from that perspective too. So if you see something in public or on Facebook that people are just being a little angry, or they're calling people out in such a negative way, and let's face it, there are people that do need this badly. I always go behind the scenes. I private message them, and I always ask this: are you open for some coaching? It's important to ask, Are you open for some coaching? And usually, we're very curious as human beings. Every single time, well, yeah, what's going on? And then you can go back and say, look, I just want to point out something that you wrote on Facebook or you wrote in our one of our groups, and it's a little harsh, or it's a perspective that we as a company or as a team really don't honor. And then say it and let them regurgitate that up a little bit. Let them shake that up, because I love the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And they have one that they wrote probably several years ago on the internet, about being on the internet. And so in one of the very first chapters, they asked the gangster Al Capone, who was back in the day, why did you shoot all those people? And he said, well, I had to. They talked about me. And so what does that mean, really? That means that he had to defend himself no matter what. Here people are talking to him because he's a gangster. He was shooting all these people, robbing all these banks. And then he felt even more compelled to do that even harsher because they were talking about him. So be prepared for people that you do call out. Even when you ask them for some coaching, be prepared for them to be defensive, and just honor that, because we all want to say, but you don't understand what she did to me, or what he did to me, or what happened here. Yes, I understand that. I understand that it hurt. It didn't feel good, but we don't have to go back and do blah, blah, blah. So it's just a great key for leadership. Okay. I love this too. This is key number 4. Teach them how to fish. When we're leaders and we want our business so badly, we want something in life so badly, sometimes we're willing to cut corners and think it's going to be quicker, faster, easier in life. And if you just look around, whether it's sports, selling Girl Scout cookies, anything, there is no shortcut in life. And if you're building a business within, I don't care what industry it is, we can talk about the industry that I'm in, and I'm not teaching my new people that come in how to fish for their new customers and their new distributors, and I'm doing all the work for them because I don't feel like they're fast enough, then they're going to feel like you don't think they can do it. It's just like, and I know Kay will remember this, when they were about 10 years old, I taught them how to do their laundry, because I thought, here, they're wives. They're very, very smart. They love to do things on their own, and I want to teach them how to do their laundry, so I'm not doing their laundry until they leave for college. And so I taught the kids how to separate the laundry, how to use the washing machine, and get it and put it in there and start doing it. Now, it took me longer in the beginning to coach them and teach them this than it would have been for me to do the laundry myself. But I'm telling you, after a couple of months, it wasn't even that long, they were sufficient in doing their laundry. They felt so proud of that. And they got particular about their laundry after that. So I didn't have to do laundry, and I haven't done laundry since. And then I thought, I'm going to teach Big Daddy how to do his laundry. So the only laundry I do, and yes, I still do my own laundry, is my laundry. So everybody else does their own laundry. So teach your distributors from the beginning. Have the respect both for yourself and for them that they know how to do this. That's vitally important. And then you have, a lot of you will come and say, I have people that aren't working. I have people that haven't done anything. I have to keep feeding them. Well, how did you start them? And then you go, but wait a minute, if I hadn't given them those customers, then I wouldn't have earned my fast start or my bonus. Well, sometimes that's okay. A lot of times that's okay, because that person may, within a month or two later, wake up and become your best distributor and do it all on their own. It took me, when I first started in this industry, it took me 6 months to do a darn thing. And I mean, my sponsor didn't give up on me. he just kept encouraging me. Now, he didn't call me all the time, but he would think of me and he would encourage me. And then once I got started, he didn't make any fast start bonuses off of me. Once I got started, I started, and he was awesome. You know, and then because he didn't do anything for me, I was not training my team that I was going to do everything for them. And I'll be honest, I've made some huge mistakes in this industry where I would feed a whole leg just so I could get to the next position. But then when I got there, they weren't around, and I wondered why. Well, they didn't honor it because they didn't do anything. I did it all for them. So wise words. It seems like it takes longer, but in the long run, it's shorter and it's stronger. So we definitely want to teach people how to fish, just like you want to lead your family in the right direction. You don't want to do all their school projects for them. You don't want to do their homework for them. You want children that feel proud of their work and feel proud of who they are. I see these science projects sometimes. I'm like, oh, we know your child didn't do that. So take the pressure off. Let them go in with what everyone might think is the worst one. But guess what? They flippin' did it. And I think that means more than we did it for them and they won the darn thing. They know they didn't win it. I think we need to switch everything up here and really understand that as moms we're leaders, as wives we're leaders, as members of our church we're leaders, and in business we're leaders. And if you want your team to go in your home to go in a certain direction, step back and look and say, how can I take me out of this? And that's what I always thought. How can I stop doing this and empower others to do it so that I am not exhausted? So start delegating. It is one of the hardest things for some of us to do, but it's also one of the most rewarding. All right, number 5, beach money. All right, if you want to know how to make beach money and leadership, give me a heart. Give me a heart. Make sure you're sharing this too, because you want your teams to see this. Oh, I love you guys. You're just, yep, you're getting it. Thank you, Nikki. I so appreciate that. Being positive is a rule on our team. I love that. And every once in a while, we have to vent, and that's cool too. All right, here's how you make real beach money. You take everything that I just talked about, these 4 keys, and we're going to roll it into number 5, which is leading from the front. Okay, in the beginning of anything in life, whether you're running your church program, your school program, your children, your household, and all the way into your business. In the beginning, you are in the front. So let's talk about it from a business perspective. In the beginning, I was in the front. I was in whether it was a wrap party, a greens party, now a keto coffee, whatever it was, I was in the front of that room. But I made sure as I looked out that everyone felt like they could do what I did. So a lot of times if it was at home, I'd sit down. I didn't stand up over them. I would sit down. Now, if it were more of a hotel gathering, of course you've got to stand up and be presenting whatever you're presenting. But I would always include within that presentation somebody brand new. Somebody that would get up front and turn beet red. Somebody that would stumble over their words. Somebody that was shaking, but they wanted to do it. And what did that do? That's allowed everybody in that audience to see that, hey, you know what? You don't have to be that great to do this. And what am I doing with that new person? I'm giving them confidence. I have confidence in you. Even if I had to stand up there and hold on to them, plenty of times I did. I'm going to tell on Carla Burns. I love Carla Burns. Carla Burns is so good in the products that when we started boot camps back 12 years ago, Carla said she wanted to go on the road with me. Oh gosh, guys, this is so funny. I hope she's listening. First time out, we have a whiteboard, and I'm just up there just doing my thing, and then I bring Carla up, and I'm serious. All right, so pretend like this is the whiteboard right here. she stood behind it like this and talked with her mouth behind it. That's how nervous she was. That's how scared she was. And I'm like, what is she doing? I mean, I'm in the back, like with her up front. And so finally, I just scoot around and I bring her out in front of the whiteboard, and I stand there with her. I mean, right on her, right beside of her, just hovering like a mama bear. And we got through it. And that was just so awesome to watch her. And then we left. She about threw up. She had an implosion. But guess what? We did it again, and we did it again, and we did it again. And if you saw her at 12018, she owns the stage. And that's how we all are. But as leaders, you don't take them off stage when something like that happens. You work with them. You honor them and work with them and say, hey, are you open to a little coaching on this? If you can't get right up there to them, you could say, how can we make this better together? And that's what we do. We work together to make it better. Believe me, Mark's called me out a couple times. I've called him out. And, just gently, but sweetly, but also from a place of, you're good. I want you to be your best. So beach money is made by, in the beginning, I want you to envision a big room. And in the beginning, you're up front. You're up front. If you're the leader, right now, you might be in that audience, but that leader is up front. So let's say you eventually make it up to the front. You're up front. Your goal is to get as many of your team members up there with you, even if you have to hover over them, hug them, hold the microphone, let it shake for them, whatever they need, give them 1 or 2 lines. We've heard this in public speaking. People would rather die than get up front. And I remember those feelings, sweaty palms, turning beet red. Even my ears were red. Dry mouth. I couldn't even hardly talk. My mouth would get so dry. And that's all nerves, just pacing in the back, pacing. I've had all of those. And we practiced this to get on that 128-18 stage. I mean, when you're looking at 15,000 people, it takes guts. And so some of you, because of your leadership, you're getting thrown up there really, really quick. Hey, if you want to be on stage with us on that white couch, give me some hearts. If you want to be on stage on that white couch, give me some hearts, because we want you up there. Come on, throw it out there. You're telling us you want on, and we want you up there with us. All right, so guess what's going to happen? This is the goal. I love it. Look at all of you going to be on stage with us. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Okay. Here's what we do. In the beginning, you're up front. You're bringing up a few people at a time. Even if they just say, because of it works, in a one-liner. It's brilliant. Now, eventually, you're going to work your way to the side of the room, and your leaders are going to start taking over the entire meeting. Now, a lot of you get all bent out of shape about this because you want to be up front. You want to be the one everybody sees, but a true leader understands that in leadership, you move everyone else up. You honor them and move everyone else up. It's so important. So then you're on to the side of the room. You're hovering there, making sure it's running the way it should, seeing if anybody might need some support. Maybe you need to run up there like I did with Carla that time. And then you're there for confidence. You're not in the back talking about it, whispering. You're not back there acting too big to be up front with them. You want them to know you're on the side, you're there if they need you. Now, eventually you will, as the leaders really rise up, you will start to move your way to the very side, to the very, very back, but then you're on your way out the door. And that is when you have that beach money, because you're going to be on your way out that door and land on the beach. And the only way you're going to get there is to build confidence in your team. And that takes true leadership. That's when the ego just totally, we have to just let that ego go and know that a true leader duplicates and builds their team, and that they put them up front. It doesn't mean any less of you. We know you can take control of that meeting. We know you're brilliant at it. But if you want the true beach money that we're all after, It's building up that leadership, duplicating, because you can't be everywhere. And this is what I love about the teams that we're developing now that are going out on the road, speaking on our behalf, training on our behalf, and that's what you want on your team. So that's my 5 keys. Did you all enjoy this? Let me look on here and see if anybody's got a comment. Yeah, pop that confianza. Excuse me, I got a tickle. Oh, Stephanie, you're going to be on the white couch next year. Stephanie, Carla, you're going to be on that white couch. Yes. Kay, I love it. My team is on that white couch. Yes, they are. Jacqueline, and you know what? First, you got to be on the white couch. Kay's been on that white couch. First, you have to be on that white couch. You lead from the front. You're not ready to turn, a lot of you, anything over to your teams yet, because you've got to be the one leading. So you've got to take control of that and be up there first. Don't give that up until you have a couple people that you can bring up. And sometimes it's very, very quickly. It just depends on your team. But we want you on that white couch first, and then you start bringing up that team. So hey, everybody, thanks for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday night. I so love coming in and talking to each and every one of you. I appreciate you all so much. I love to see how much you're building, how you're interacting with your teams, and growing that belief in you. We've got an extremely fun time in life right now, and I want us all to enjoy every single moment. So, talk to you later, everybody. Thanks for listening. Good night.